Pretty boring time for the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, huh? But don't worry, I have one chart to show you when we may actually see upside to the moon. And now, let's begin. Welcome back to Cryptowallet channel, guys. In today's video, we have two charts to watch. First one is the price of the Bitcoin, and together with one more chart which is going to give you perspective when we may see the end of this correction and finally bouncing to the upside. And now let's see what is going on over here. First, I'm going to mention that chart, and then we're going to combine with multiple reasons here on the chart, especially on the weekly and on the daily, so you will have the full picture where is that move to the upside. So the first thing, we're going to go to the Bitcoin SOPR chart over here. So what is this chart about? I'm about to explain you. Actually, we have the definition over here, but we're not going to hit our heads too hard in the wall because it's not too necessary. Basically, this is the spend output profit ratios chart. It's computed by dividing the realized value in USD divided by the value at creation USD of a spent output, or simply that's the price sold divided by the price spent. So pretty much whenever this chart over here, as you can see, these yellow lines over here, whenever this yellow line hits the number 1 on the chart over here, this level number 1, then we are on the level of 0, which pretty much means that all holdings that the traders are trading with their holdings, their positions, are dumped, and after that we should see Bitcoin lift to the upside. Whenever we see this orange line on level 1, then we should see spike to the upside. Usually, or most of the times, that's the case. The rest over here is the pretty much price of the Bitcoin on this chart. Now, this is the chart in the previous year. Of course, you can get the whole chart from 2013 or something when this chart came out. So whenever we hit level 1, after that we had the spike to the upside. Bitcoin managed to push price further to the upside. Now, as you can see over here, one of the example when we were not in the profits was Black Swamp event that we had in March last year. That was the huge dump below level of $6,000 per one Bitcoin, and after that many sold in minus over here. As you can see, pretty much after that we were always into the uptrend, right? So as you can see right now, we are retouching this level of 1, and things to be even better, we are bouncing. So we can actually zoom in this a little bit, and as you can see over here, we actually bounced back from this level of 1 bounce is sitting on exactly $30,000, $30,800, and we are bouncing back to the upside. Now, in order to be more precise with this bounce, we need to check out our chart of the price over here and do our technical analysis, especially on the weekly chart, because the weekly chart may actually give us the clue if we may have bottomed out. So in previous 2 weeks, we discussed about weekly chart, and one very particular candle over here is in our eye over here, and that's this red one. After so many climbs, after so many stairs, we finally got double stair formation over here, let's call it like that. That's this candle over here. So this is not doji candle, but it is star candle. These candles tends to show up on the top. Whenever you have some top, you usually can see those candles. Now, interesting fact about this candle is working much better on the tops than on the bottoms, which pretty much means it can much more define some top than the bottom. So this is the reason why this kind of a top formation, this kind of a candle over here, this star candle over here, is significant. Now, as you can see, in order to be significant and in order to be valid, you need to see confirmation. The confirmation should be this next candle over here, which pretty much means you need to see open where the previous candle or this candle closed, and after that further push towards downside. We saw that in the previous week over here, as you can see, and already next candle is making some sort of a doji formation over here. Now, in order to connect those two, over here on this chart on Glassnode, we are seeing bottoming formation. If we come back to the chart over here, it's very interesting to watch these kind of candles after some dump. This dump took I think 30% or something. It was actually 33% approximately. Whenever you have such a big dumps, always watch what kind of a formation will next candle form, especially on the weekly chart. Weekly charts are very important. Of course, this is just beginning of the week. We are at Tuesday right now. We have 5 days more until we see close of this candle. But if this candle in the next 5 days, if this candle in the next 5 days stays like that, there is a big probability that we actually bottomed out. Why? Well, we had the small pressure. The sellers are wasting their energy on these levels. They're wasting pretty much Bitcoins in this area. They don't have anything left to sell, and the next candle should be pushed to the upside. But this is the only if we see the candle closes like this. I don't think that this is too probable because we have 5 more days, but anything is possible. So we need to wait and see if that scenario is going to happen. Now, the next scenario is that we may revisit, as we predicted in the previous 2 weeks, $25,000 approximately. We may actually go to the 24, as we mentioned over here on these levels in the many previous videos. You need to check out. We have a lot of good arguments for that. And one of them is for retesting 20 weekly exponential moving average. As you can see, we mentioned 5 days ago or something that this line over here, this yellow line, may line up with the $25,000, which is this area that we predicted for the retracement, and the Bitcoin may just dump to the downside. We may see even this chart back to one level, and then we may bounce towards the upside. The second argument for that is because we may actually enter wave 4 correction in Elliott theory, and that is pretty much 40 to 50% correction in that wave, which is, as you can see, this kind of stuff over here. If we measure from the top that we had over here to those levels, that's pretty much 41%. So this has perfectly good sense to see even bigger correction. Another argument for that, for those levels over here that we are forcing constantly, is the RSI. RSI is constantly over here into the overbought territory. We never actually went below it since we visited $10,000 in the Bitcoin. $10,500 at 28th September. So this is perfectly good time for the Bitcoin to revisit those levels, to restart RSI, and then push back above $42,000. Now we are here on the daily chart, and we need to mention one very interesting stuff that happened yesterday. Yesterday we actually saw something for reversal. We saw the hope that we may actually reverse towards the upside, that this dump is done, but unfortunately during the night that wasn't the case, or let's say during the previous day. What happened yesterday, if you watch yesterday's video, this candle over here particularly is very, very important. This candle is giving us a lot of information, this doji candle. What happened over here is that this candle was green and we were hovering above level of 20 exponential moving average. The reason why this is important, as you know, we are discussing whenever the Bitcoin is above moving average over here, then we are into the bull run over here to the upside. Whenever we are below, then we are either in correction, either into the bear market. As you can see, Bitcoin price is respecting 20 EMA very good. So as long as we are bouncing from 20 EMA, we are good to go to the upside. Now, since we dropped in the previous 5 days below it and we were hovering and retesting this 20 EMA constantly, yesterday we managed to have some open candle above, but surprisingly this candle became doji candle during the yesterday's day or night, whatever. So as you can see, this candle is giving us some very important informations, and that's that the bulls are not ready. The bulls right now at this very particular moment, bulls are not ready to next bull run towards the upside. This may actually give us more down pressure, and one of the reasons for that is because you have the small body, you have the very long wick, which pretty much means bulls managed somehow with the last breath to break this 20 exponential moving average, but unfortunately sellers were stronger and determined that the price should stay below 20 EMA. As you can see, that confirms today's bearish candle over here, and we may actually see continuation from the tomorrow. So make sure to observe this and take all things that we discussed today in consideration, from the weekly chart towards the daily chart that I just mentioned over here, this very, very important candle. So if we see continuation pressure towards the downside, then we may see, breaking this level of structure, and we are most probably entering the wave for a correction that could lead us towards the $24,000-$25,000, maybe 27, who knows where we will stop, but I do pretty sure that we have $25,000 as one of the stop over here. Let's see how this will develop. We are still near 20 EMA, but that doesn't mean that we may break towards the upside. Let's wait and see. To wrap up this video with one more chart very quickly is the monthly chart. The monthly chart, I don't like what I see. Why? Well, we had the 3 white soldiers we discussed in yesterday's video, I think, or 2 or 3 videos ago, something like this. These 3 candles are bullish. You need to understand that they are bullish. Now, what comes after 3 white or green soldiers, whatever you want to call them right now, since we have the green candles, what comes after those 3 white candles is usually the neutral or the bearish zone. As you can see right now, we have one bearish candle. Yes, this last bearish candle is called the shooting star because we have the body very small or no wick to the downside and very big wick to the upside, which means, again, as we discussed in the previous chart on the daily time frame, whenever the price is shooting, then retrace towards some usual levels over here on this body, then this means that bulls actually managed to push some levels, but they didn't unfortunately manage to hold those levels. So this is the reason why I would be careful right now, because on this chart we may see $24,000 correction over here, which is 42% correction approximately. But if the Bitcoin, as it can do, determined to go even further, the next very important support for the Bitcoin could be actually $20,000. So this is the reason why we need to observe this level and this level. I wouldn't be so sure that $20,000 could happen, but you know, we will take it as a reserve plan. For now, make sure to observe this candle over here, what will happen tomorrow, and also this price over here, these levels, if the price may actually break these levels and continue towards those levels. Make sure to watch that and let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Does this make sense to you, what we discussed today? I think it does. So if you have your own theory, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, how this is going to affect your altcoins? Well, as you know, some of the altcoins are following Bitcoin and some of the altcoins are actually doing opposite when the Bitcoin is dropping. So make sure to watch and see which altcoins are doing such a stuff, so you will do a reversal thing, you know. So I think this is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank each last one of you for watching our videos, and until the next episode, happy trading and goodbye.